Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as this is a match I've been waiting to cast. It's kind of been inevitable. We are on the map Hard Lead, the AI edition, and we actually have a bit of a team kill here today. It's going to be none other than Eris in the top left, the top Zerg bot, the top bot, not just of Zerg, and in the bottom right, another project by Team Eris, rapidly rising through the ranks on the ladder. It is Deimos, a Protoss bot. And so we have got Deimos going to be taking on Eris, and I'll tell you why I haven't really cast this before, because I have a feeling that Deimos is going to come out on top in a match between these two bots, because if you're a bot author, and I think Eris probably suffers from this a little bit. Oh, good drone pull, killing that probe, by the way. I think Eris probably suffers from this a little bit, and that is, if you're the top bot, if you're the king, basically there's always a target on your head. And so that's potentially going to put Eris in a bit of a spot of bother here. As Deimos, I wouldn't be surprised if it's programmed specifically to take down Eris. But then again, there is a variety of randomness, chance in these bot games. And so we'll just have to see how it goes between these two. Ladies and gentlemen, before we do get too far into this one, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. If we can hit like 3 likes on this video, that would be great. Leave a comment down below. It takes 2 seconds, and it actually helps with the YouTube algorithm a lot, saying more bots. As, yeah, that goes a long way with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you're not already. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. And if you do want to support the channel, consider becoming a YouTube member. We've got an Adept now shading out for Deimos, going to be crossing the map. In this PvZ, we're already seeing a bit of variation. It's not like Eris is going for its incredibly greedy opening that it sometimes does. We've actually got another Adept shading across the map, pardon me. Eris is actually playing it a little bit differently, getting out a very fast lair on 2 bases, dealing with the Adept harassment for now. So far, no drones going down. We'll see if that stays the case, as these Adepts are still shading around. That lair is going to finish up relatively soon for Eris, so we'll have to see what it's going to get used for. Either going to be Hydras or Mutas, perhaps. I feel like Mutas are a bit of a risky build against Deimos, because it's a bot that likes to go for a Spire, go for Blink Stalkers. It's also got out a Stargate, and that Void Ray is beginning to cut up one of those Overlords, going to kill that, potentially supply block Eris a little bit, and we do see that. The Adepts as well for Deimos have really good behavior when it comes to avoiding damage. We have actually seen one, well, we didn't see it, but one drone did go down to this Adept harassment all over the map. Another one may go down. I mean, Eris is pulling back the injured ones. That's the beauty of Bot Micro. As long as the programming's good, they'll keep going through the motions to keep units like these drones alive. However, they're a little bit cornered now, other than they change path, as these Adepts are just continuously shading around. Eris is definitely losing a decent chunk of mining time against this strategy, as, look at this, all these drones are not mining. It does get them back to work eventually, but this is quite a bit of lost mining time for Eris. That being said, we're going to be seeing this Spire finish up in about 20 seconds, so Mutas coming out will potentially shut this down. And I'm wondering if this super early Spire is a bit of a counter timing by Eris, because Deimos is a bot. It goes for timing attacks, but they're a little bit later. It's not like it's just 8 gating off 2 bases. We're seeing a 3rd Nexus go up, and now we'll see if these Mutas are able to get some harassment done. I'm all for it, because we don't see Mutas in enough of these bot games, I feel. Looks like this Adept is trying to get another drone, shading all over the place. Eventually, Mutas may help to shut this down. The Mutas will also be able to deal with this Void Ray. Now, here's the problem. The Stalkers are starting to come forward. I don't know if the Mutas will be able to fight these or not. One of the Queens does go down. And the mutas are popping on out. Now they're starting to come forward. We'll see if they're going to go across the map and kill workers, or if they're going to be used in the defense or not. Looks like the answer is going to be go across the map and kill workers. And there is a possibility that Deimos doesn't respond to this. It's definitely a bot that is weaker in the defense. It's got great offense, but I don't know how well it's going to deal with this. It does fire up a Phoenix. It's got a second Stargate on the way, so maybe this is a specifically programmed response by the bot authors. We're still seeing pressure on the front lines have great effect by Deimos, though, as Eris is only on 36 drones. Not really too many units back home to defend. The mutas are still flying around all over the place. The Phoenix can have a hard time attacking the mutas because the injured ones can just be microed back instantly. That being said, these Phoenix are actually going to be able to kill off one of these mutas, it looks like, so the damage getting done by Eris really is limited. Deimos is pushing on the front lines. There's 3 Stalkers left, 1 Queen trying to make the defense happen, but I don't think things are looking too good for the Zerg bot. The Phoenix are just such a hard counter, and there's a reason why in not just bot games, but in pro games too, we don't really see Zergs rush mutas. It takes a long time for that Spire to build. By the time you get up the mutas and get value out of them, it just takes too darn long. You don't get enough done. And then it is cool to see Deimos transition into the Phoenix, keeping them at home to defend. Mutas are maybe going to kill one of these Stalkers or something. All in all, though, Eris does hold on for now. It was able to push back those Stalkers. It's got out a few Speedlings. We're seeing Hydras on the way. The problem is it is 42 drones against 64 probes. These mutas are flying around, still being a bit of a nuisance. It's all going to depend on whether the Phoenix can keep chasing them, and this mini-map is lighting up like a Christmas tree as mutas fly all over the place and Lings run all over. There is Lings still chasing down some of these Stalkers too as they overextend. The third base is on the way up, although the Queens are kind of pushing this Void Ray towards the hatchery. That is not good. Those Queens are repositioning to help deal with that. We've still got these mutas flying all over the place. The Phoenix are coming back now to pursue them. The mutas have bought a bit of time, actually quite a bit of time. It really is cool to see how these bots can just micro all over the place. Each individual muta flying different directions. If I was a human trying to handle this, it would not be easy. Fortunately for Deimos, it doesn't get tired of this harassment. And let's see, a Ling is killing off a few probes. This hatchery is still being killed, though. Oh no, the Hydras and Queens are moving across the map, and this one Void Ray that just per chance got pushed out here is going to cause big problems. Eris is not really defending this as it needs to, although one drone moves out that kind of pulls the Void Ray back, and we will maybe see that Void Ray go down. The Void Ray staying alive for now. We're even seeing Deimos get up to 5 bases, so the economy of the Protoss is just dwarfing that of the Zerg. This Void Ray is lurking around too, potentially going to chase some of these drones. It almost goes down, and it does actually finally fall. Eris gets a 4th base on the way, and Eris is still a macro Zerg beast, so if it holds on long enough, maybe it can win this game. I don't actually know how maxed out Eris and maxed out Deimos would go over it, or if they'd ever get to that situation. I do like the Hydras, though. Lings are still running around, harassing a little bit. Eris flying around. I think that might have been like the last muta dying. There's one more muta left here. The Phoenix will chase it down, though. It's running to some Hydra homies, and it does escape for now. Meanwhile, though, Eris still is just on 54 workers against 94 probes. It's a really rough economic position to be. I'm not saying that Eris is dead, but it's not going to be easy to hold against this. There's so many units out. 22 Stalkers, 3 Immortals. Hydras are darn good against Stalkers and Immortals, but the problem is there's only 6. Eris was like, I got 6 Hydras to defend against all these Stalkers. Now, Lings are being produced en masse, going for some counter damage, too. The Phoenix aren't really defending against this, but it looks like Deimos is pulling back some of its army, getting split in 2. This could be good for Eris. We're still seeing, though, it's still a bit too much Protoss for this just handful of Hydras to deal with. So even half of Deimos' army poses a problem. The Lings are keeping Eris alive in this game for now, though, buying lots of time, running all over the place. Looks like a couple more Hydras are being produced, and Lings may get on top of these Immortals and Stalkers. We'll see if there's a critical mass of Zerg to actually deal with this. The Immortals don't do well against the Lings at all. Lings are just surrounding and killing off most of these Stalkers, so all in all, that's a pretty good start for Eris, but now Deimos is coming with the rest of its army. And yeah, that is not looking too good. Eris finally got up to like 4 bases mining decently, but there's just so many stalkers here, and Lings trickling on in one at a time are not going to be able to deal with this army. So unless we see another counterattack, things are going to be really bad for the Red Zerg. And yeah, we are seeing Deimos just crush on in here. This killer army, the macro of Deimos, as good as the macro of Eris, I'd say, as it just powers up. Super duper strong. And then, yeah, Eris, 40 supply to 110, unless Deimos glitches out and goes on home. I'm not sure how this Red Zerg's going to win. I did enjoy the counterattacks from Eris to actually pull Deimos back a little bit, but it just wasn't enough. And now we're seeing, yeah, Mortals, Stalkers, shoot everything all over the place. Eris is still mining a good amount, but yeah, there's just, it's, look at all this Protoss on the door. No upgrades on either of these sides, other than for the now dead Mutas. But yeah, Deimos showing us that it can indeed beat Eris. This one wasn't too surprising for me. I knew eventually I'd want to cast one of these games, though. It's one of those conundrums you face as a bot author. You're kind of like, which child do I love the most? Which one do I want to beat the other one regularly? Because it's like playing a game of chess against yourself. You know what moves the other guy's thinking in that case. And so it is still very, very cool to see the spectacle of these two bots facing each other, though. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, make sure to go ahead, click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, join the Discord, which is linked down below. If you do want to support the channel, you can become a YouTube member. I'm thinking I might like set up like a goal for YouTube members or something, that I might try programming a bot at some point, but we'll have to wait and see about that one, as I am not a programmer, so that would be a very, well, not much of a programmer. That would be a very steep learning curve. And that's going to be it. GG. I'll see you guys next time.